Okay, hey there. So I have a fan who requested, how to do some photo merging, and I will show you how to do that today. So I used to use Photoshop until my time expired, but I found this really cool website called Pixlr.com, and I use that a lot. So I already have another tab open over here, so I'm just going to show you what you do. So basically, all you have to do is click Open Image Editor. I'll bring you to a page where you can upload your things. So I already have two windows open, and two pictures open, and I will show you how I merge them. So what you're gonna do first is you're gonna bring your mouse over here and click your crop tool, because WattPad, they like to keep covers within a certain what do you want to call it? A certain like dimension, so that it doesn't overcrowd and whatnot. So this cover, kind of like, I guess you could say, a sneak peek, is for on a new story that I want to write. I know I always start new stories and never finish the other ones, but you know what? I'm trying. I have really good ideas. Anyway, so I'm going to crop this image, and you can adjust this. So, like, say you have like that, and it's like, oh, I'm not happy with that. All you do is just move it around and make it to the certain proportions that you would like. So, you know what? I'm going to keep it like this. Press enter, and there's your cropped image. Then what you're going to do now is you're going to take this image and you want to put it over here. So really easy, kind of simple. All you have to do is click your background for that image and drag it onto this image. Now I'm going to resize this picture so that's bigger. And the way that you're going to do it is you're going to press Control T, which is transform. And you know what? So, and people usually drag and look how it's like disproportionate and whatnot. So what you're going to do is you're going to click Shift. So you're going to go Control T, Shift, and this won't change any of the proportions, and it just stays relatively the same. Now, usually when I am putting two pictures together, I usually go to this little drop down menu here and I scroll down and do multiply. But as you can see, both images are very dark, so it doesn't really come together. So I'm going to put this back to normal. But what I'm going to do is this little pop-up box over here. You know, when you first open the editor, it will not show. So you just click Toggle Layer Settings, and you're going to fade your image. Now see, it's faded, and you can still see her running through the forest. So another thing I like to do instead of invading it, so what I want to do is you change your brush, and I have it 200 right now since my image is quite large, and I just made it a little bit bigger over here by using your diameter selection. So I'm putting it around 310, which is quite large. And you want to make sure it has soft edges, right? So you want the brush that's very blurred out, because if you just have one with hard edges, and like, it's a lot bigger and it does a really sloppy job. So I'm gonna erase those. Okay, so I'm going to change that back to the 200 diameter one. Okay, and see how much smaller it is? So I'm going to click over here, and you want to set, if you're fading images, you want to set your opacity to like around 50 or below, which is this little selection over here. So I'm just going to start erasing a few things around here, so it kind of looks faded and kind of cool. So it's a bit blended. See, and there we go. It's kind of what I want right there. And I'm going to move the image down a little bit lower by just using your selection tool. Make sure you have that certain layer selected when you want to move it. Okay. So I'm just gonna actually gonna just move this down now. There we go. And then now I'm gonna erase it. It's bigger than I wanted. Oops. There we go. That should be big enough. And mind you, the bigger the brush that you have, the stronger the eraser will be. So you gotta be careful with what settings that you have. Okay, so there you go. So now I'm gonna put a font in, and people, you know what? It's sometimes kind of confusing as to how we get fonts in. You know what? All I have to do is go on the internet and simply download any fonts and install them to your computer, and they'll automatically pop up on this website. So this story is going to be called Out of Oblivion. Out of Oblivion. And I'm going to center it. And you want to change your color, you just click this little black marker. And you can adjust the settings. And I want a nice gold color. So I'm going to move this forward a bit. That's too wet. Just about what I had it before. So Out of Oblivion. Anyway, you can always come back and change your font and whatnot. You just have to make sure that you have your layer selected, which is over here. So I have layer 13. It's called layer 13, but as soon as you click OK, it'll turn to the name, like say Out of Oblivion, depending on what text box you're using. So yeah, make sure you always click when you're going to want to change the title or something like that, or to a different font. Make sure you always click out that certain layer and click directly onto the text, or if you say click over here, it'll make a new text box. Okay, so I'm going to add another part. Return, oops, of and so you want the same color for your next text box. To do is simply drag it over and use your tool. That'll just automatically pop up. Return of Lord Voldemort. And you know, for WattPad, you know, it's really stubborn, so it has certain proportions, and I will show you how to change the proportions if need be. So change that. There we go. Upload Voldemort. Okay. And I noticed that that a lot of people are asking questions about, oh, how do you get your fonts to be so kind of popping out and whatnot. So you're gonna click this button over here. It looks like a gradient button. So you're gonna click that, and it's basically layer styles or effects, as it would be on Photoshop. And you're gonna click bevel and see how that changes it over here. Makes it look more like 3D and whatnot. Well, I don't particularly want this for this certain cover, but there we go. And so there you have it. Say you have a lighter, like a brighter image and whatnot that you want to put, say like something that's like this bright, but it doesn't blend in well, like the font that with the color this bright, but it doesn't blend in well. All you have to do is you just go on Google Images and search up black stripe. Black stripe, and come up with something like this. And it looks kind of a gradient. And all you have to do is click and drag your background over here. Control T, and for this you don't really have to do anything. Like you don't have to click Shift and use the proportions, because you know what, it doesn't really matter. You can change it. You're probably gonna change it anyway. So you know what to do is you drag your layers up. Hold on, make this text box bigger. And drag it over that so that all the text comes up forward. But you don't want your stripe to be so vivid, and you want it to be faded a bit, so you're just gonna click the opacity. Click your background copy, which is this, which you can also rename. Just double click it. You're gonna name it stripe, and you're going to bring down the opacity level. And see, it's kind of faded, but you can still see the writing clearly. So I'm just going to delete this. And that's one of the layers that I like. This is what I want for my cover relatively. I have a different kind of picture that I want in the background, but that's what I want. In the next video, I will be showing you, well, next chapter kind of thing, I will be showing you how to like Photoshop two pictures together, like I did for my cover on, for, what was it called? Oh yes, the cover was it was called World for Me to Explore, and I'll show you kind of how to Photoshop those two images in, and how I got the Hogwarts crest in as well. So yeah, that's how we basically do it. And I hope you enjoy this. I hope you enjoy this tutorial, and if you have any questions, please feel free to send me a private message or to comment on this